Here.
Melissa Hunt.
Here.
Terry Kavner. David Roberts.
Here.
Mark Ham. Glenn Lewis.
Here. Would you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2 is item A, is approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held February 16, 2016. Item B, receive the minutes of the regular planning commission meeting held December 8, 2015. Item C, approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2015-2016 in the amount of $4,249,721.61.
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any, this is a consent docket. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 3 is consider approval of a contract with Dillon and Associates for auditing services for fiscal year ended June 30th, 2016.
Evening, Mayor and Council. This is just the renewal contract for the annual audit with Dillon and Associates. The audit fee is the same as last year and would ask the council to approve the contract.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 4 is consider an amendment to the city's purchasing policy to include a new section 7-211 entitled Capitalization of Property, Plant, and Equipment.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the comments in the audit for the year that we just had was that the city doesn't have a formal capitalization policy. They've had a practice that's been consistent over the years, but it hasn't been formalized into a policy. So that's been presented to you tonight. The one change that I have proposed over what the current practice has been is to only capitalize items over $5,000 and more, as opposed to the current practice of $2,500 and more. Most of the cities of this size in the state have gone to the $5,000, and so would ask the council to approve this.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thanks.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 5 is considered rezoning application number RZ934, located in the southwest quarter of Section 24, Township 10 North, Range 3 West, being north of Southeast 19th Street and east of Eastern Avenue, from A1 Rural Agricultural District to C3 General Commercial District, and approve ordinance number 81316. Application by Jolieta Click. Planning Commission recommended approval of this 8-0. This is in Ward 1.
Mayor and Council, this property consists of approximately 5 acres. It is located south of Drury Lane, just east of Southeastern Avenue. The lot is currently vacant. The applicant is proposing to rezone the property to C3 General Commercial to market for sale. Public water is available to the site along Southeastern Avenue. Public sewer is available to the south and the west. It must be extended to the property prior to development. Access will be from Southeastern Avenue. The site is currently not platted. A final plat is required prior to the site development. The comprehensive plan calls for this location to be medium commercial, therefore a comprehensive plan amendment is not required. This subject property is located in an increasingly commercialized area with similar land uses located to the north and the south. Due to these growth trends in this area and based on compliance with the comprehensive plan, staff recommends approval of this application. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, we have a couple people signed up on this to speak on it. Mrs. Kincannon?
Drury Lane is a private road, and there are small acreages on that street, and I live on that road. And the 5 acres butts right up to one of the homes where they would barely have a yard. And I just worry about what type of business would go in there. There is commercial property in the area right now, but those are businesses that are closed by pipe, and so there's not any additional noise or anything. My concern is we'll wind up with a Sonic on my corner and people there all hours of the night, and I just don't feel like this is the right thing to do.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Mrs. Cowan?
Good evening. I'm Lisa Cowan. I too live on Drury Lane, which is directly behind this property, and I'm very concerned about what it's going to do to our neighborhood. We've lived there for 10 years. We bought that property so we could stay in Moore. I've lived in Moore since 1979. I love this town, but what I love most about it, it's a growing city, but it still has a small hometown feel to it. Well, I'm concerned that our quiet neighborhood is going to be ruined by whatever commercial business is going to go in there. It's no longer going to be the quiet neighborhood where kids can run and play, because we have no idea what's going to be coming in there. So I'm asking that you reconsider and not change this to commercial.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you guys talked about buying this 5 acres? Yeah, anybody about it?
No, I haven't. I did speak with a gentleman that was, I guess, mowing, and he said it was his grandmother's property, and he was going to try and convince her to rezone it commercial so she could sell it. Well, I knew if it was zoned commercial that there's no way we could afford it. I would like to, in the perfect world, that would be great.
Okay, thank you.
Is this the White House that sits back there? You know what I'm talking about? The big white farmhouse?
The original Drury, I'm sorry, but the original Drury farmhouse sets, this property is vacant, like she said. Drury Lane, which is a private road, sits right there, and the original Drury farmhouse sits just to the north of this.
Okay.
Hey, Elizabeth, what, can you refresh my memory, general, C3, general, commercial, what kind of businesses could go in there?
C3 is our most broad commercial category, so it could be anything from office uses to a dry cleaners. It could be a fast food restaurant. It's very wide ranging. On a site that is of this size and location in mid-block, it's unlikely that it would be some sort of fast food or national tenant because they do like the corners, more commercial corridors. But it is a very wide-ranging zoning classification.
If I'm not mistaken, to the north, there's a plumbing business, and then there's a lawnmower repair business.
Correct.
And then to the south, basically, the storage facilities that lie to the south, and then on the corner is the large 7-Eleven. I would think that probably with the 7-Eleven, you've encountered the worst of any noise or anything, because generally speaking, in areas like that, businesses of like nature kind of gather. And
range of zoning classifications. The comprehensive plan does show this as being medium commercial, so things that fall within the medium commercial designation would be C3, obviously, that we're talking about tonight, but also C2, which is a neighborhood commercial. The difference between a C2 and a C3 is that C2 does not allow for fast food or drive-through restaurants. So like your Sonics, your McDonald's would not be allowed in C2. Other than that, it's pretty similar to C3.
You know, and I don't think it's an appropriate place for a fast food type of deal, because they're all congregated someplace else, not likely to move there, but I don't know, maybe, we might be consider moving it to a C2. C2 would keep out the fast food restaurants.
My name is Jolita Clegg. I am the owner of the land. Jury Lane. My mother was a jury. This is my family's plot. We owned 80 acres. The time that I was a child, the mail didn't even come down to Moore. We had to have a mailbox in town.
Could you
So Moore
address
has definitely grown and will continue to grow. There's C3 on both sides of me, as well as a business down on Jury Lane that is a commercial building. So I wish to sell it as commercial C3.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anybody else want to speak on this issue? Sure.
I recognize that it's her property and it's her right to develop it, sell it, zone it however she chooses. But a C2 would be more beneficial for the residents that live there. Yes, it's her family plot, but we've chosen to build our homes there and stay there. I've already been there 11 years and I plan on staying that much longer, if not more. A C2 would be more beneficial for us because we know at least, like you said, it's unlikely that a fast food restaurant would go in there or something with the drive-through. But if it is classified as C3, it's always possible that it could go in there. If we could at least get it zone 3-2, she could get, it would still be commercial, but it would protect us a little bit, the residents that have chosen to live there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Was the C2 discussion brought up at the Planning Commission?
At the Planning Commission, there were no residents there to speak against this, so we didn't have the opportunity to have these discussions.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on it?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to address the zoning commission. We were not notified last time when the plumbing company went in and there was going to be a committee on that, we were sent a letter. So we were made aware of the meeting. The only reason I even found out about it being rezoned, there's a small sign posted on that property. It's not even at the street. And yes, I drive by there every day going to work and coming home. But the only reason I noticed it is because trash from 7-Eleven had blown all the way down there and I was walking along the street picking up the trash. That's the only reason I noticed the sign. That's if I had seen it before, I would have been at the zoning meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I talked to one of the other neighbors who is also part of the Jury family who still lives on our street. And she told me that she was told that people within 300 feet were notified of the zoning. Well, from our house, garage door to our shop door is 100 feet. So we're nowhere near that distance. So we did not know about it. I found out after last month's meeting. So if the plumbing company's considered C3, they still close at 5. So we have quiet in the neighborhood And there's a neighborhood across the street, a whole neighborhood across the street that will be impacted as well. And they must be over 300 feet away because I don't see that they would allow something like this to take place that close to their home.
Okay, thank you. Anybody want to make a motion?
Can you describe what C2 is, what business would go in?
I think just about
Everything but fast food.
Right, so a C2, you could have anything neighborhood related. So it could be dry cleaners, it could be a pharmacy, it could be a bank. But you could not have fast food, you could not have like a Sonic drive-through. You could not have these, like the plumbing company that's to the north, that would not be allowed in a C2.
Outdoor storage.
Many storage wouldn't be allowed.
So the plumbing and the Switzer storage are listed as C3,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
Correct.
I would also like to know about the letters. It was my understanding that letters had been mailed. Is
They
that
have
correct?
been mailed, yes. We mail out to
It's
300
300
feet,
feet.
which is the state law requirement. And then you also posted the property, which we have verified is posted.
And it is posted as per the city. I
Correct,
had it
and it
done
ran in the
this morning.
newspaper in the legal section.
Thank
So
you.
everything was done.
Would you be interested in doing it C2?
No, I really would like it to go along with the zoning that's already there.
Okay.
And I
Just thought I'd
believe
ask.
in Moore's projected plan, it is listed as C3.
It's listed as light commercial.
General commercial.
I'm sorry. Yeah, which is also C2.
I would like to pursue C3, as I feel I'm sandwiched in there with C3, so I feel like the property's worth C3.
Okay, thank you.
So there's C3 on both sides.
Yeah, there's
Is it-
C3 on both sides.
On both sides?
I don't see it changing the nature of the neighborhood at all. I mean, I hate to vote against anybody, but I really think it's appropriate for C3 zoning.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve this zoning application.
All right, thank you. This isn't the presidential debates. You don't need to keep talking, sorry.
You can come talk.
Come on. But I'm just saying, last time.
Okay, I understand you guys have other things to do, and I understand she wants C3, and that the plumbing company is already C3. But I feel like we were fortunate with the plumbing company because he has always been more than respectful of the neighborhood. And I just feel like we're risking that by just letting this other property be zoned C3. We may not be as fortunate this time.
Unfortunately, if you don't own the property, you can't control the property.
You're right.
And I tell people, there's over 100,000 people a week born into this world, and the vacant lot next to you should have no expectation of that lot being empty from now on.
Yes, I understand that.
So that's why I asked if you'd considered purchasing the lot.
Yes, like I said, we would love to, but with it.
I
so-
understand. I want to buy the lot next to me, but I can't afford it. So.
I know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion for C3 zoning on this property. Anybody else want to second it?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Anybody else want to speak? Next chance. Would you call for the vote, please?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 6 is consider awarding bid number 1516-013, mowing and noosing abatement to the lowest and most responsible bidder. This is in community development.
Mayor, we ask you to table this tonight. We've had some changes in the department, and we need to go out and actually inspect the equipment, which we have not had a chance to do yet before we make a recommendation to you.
Okay.
Make a motion to table item 6.
Second.
Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Thank you, appreciate it. We have a motion to table. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Excuse me. Item number 7 is approve a memorandum of understanding with the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office to provide a tactical officer to the multi-jurisdiction tactical team.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, the purpose of this agenda item is to ask for your approval to continue to provide a tactical officer to the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office tactical team, multi-jurisdictional tactical team. One of our officers has been assigned to that team for the last 5.5 years, and previously we've just signed a memorandum of understanding to participate on that team. With new counsel at the Oklahoma County District Attorney's Office, they're requesting that we formalize this by asking for the council's approval on that before I sign the MOU. Some of the benefits to being on this team would be we have access to basically backup should we have a large-scale event. We have someone who's involved in their training with knowledge of how they operate. We also have access to a bomb disposal unit that we don't have. We have access to other specialized equipment and use of the county facilities to include the gun range and the emergency vehicle operation driving range. They have given us a gun range just dedicated to us, our department, at their range. It was large enough that they were able to do that. So, also they have a lot of training in schools that they give us priority to attend on those. So it's worked out really well. Like I said, we've been doing it for 5 years, and we just request that you consider approving that. Any questions, you have to answer.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, call for the vote, please.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Thank you. At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item number 8 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Public Works Authority meeting held February 16, 2016. Item B is approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2015-2016 in the amount of $1,136,111.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. There's no other discussion.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carried. Item number 9 is consider approval of a material modification to the city's health benefit plan that excludes any type of infertility treatment.
Mayor and trustees, the next 4 items are all companion items. These are items that have been recommended by Gallagher, our health benefit consultants, and these have been reviewed and approved by or recommended by the Health Benefit Committee. This particular item would exclude any type of infertility treatment. Under the Affordable Care Act, a plan has to include all types of infertility treatment, or they have to exclude all types of infertility treatment. Currently, our plan covered part of it, and part of it was not covered. Most plans do not cover fertility treatment. So we're recommending that you approve our update to our plan.
Okay. Keep losing my voice, sorry. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Oh, wait. Oh, speak. Would you like to come up and speak? I'm sorry. I didn't have anybody signed up, so you're very welcome to speak.
Good evening, council persons. Mayor Lewis, I noticed this on the agenda today.
If you don't mind, would you state your name and address?
Yes,
for the
Leslie
record, please?
Bonebreak, Ward 3. And I don't think it's in the city's interest to dictate how fertility treatment or anybody's infertility should come up. It's not a city issue, it's a private issue amongst a family and their physicians. So I would hate to see my sons, it's not an issue for me anymore, but if my children were to work for the city of Moore and them and their partners wanted to have children and weren't able to, I'd hope that their insurance would cover it, especially working for our fine city.
Okay, thank you. The deal we're having, that we're working on right now, this is the health benefits plan, and the city's self-insured. So if most insurance, and this is approved by the committee of the benefits committee, the benefits committee is made up of both unions and a couple council members and 2 or 3 insurance people in the community. So this is their recommendation to us in order to save money.
I'm sorry, it's a cost issue.
It's a cost issue.
All right, well, I've brought it up with the Oklahoma Coalition for Reproductive Justice, so I've referred the matter to them to see where they stand on it, and we can just further it down the line.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote?
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 10 is consider approval of an agreement with Partners Plus Consulting, PBC, to perform a claims audit of the city's medical third-party administrator, TPA, and the pharmacy benefits manager, PBM, in the amount of $43,250.
This is a company that Gallagher uses frequently. Although this is not required by law, the audit, that is, we feel like it would be a good business practice to audit our third-party administrator and our pharmacy benefit manager periodically to make sure our claims are being processed accurately. There's a lot of money going through that's being accounted for by both of those people, and this isn't something that we've done anytime recently, so we feel like it's time to do an audit on both of those.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this? No? Would you call for the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 11 is consider approval of a wellness program master agreement with the Interactive Health Solutions Incorporated, DBA Interactive Health, to provide the administration of health risk assessments, biometric screenings, validation, physical exams, disease management, tracking, and reporting in the amount of $52,000 per year. This is also
Mayor and trustees, this is also an item that Gallagher has recommended to us. They recommended this particular company after reviewing 3 proposals. For those, the vendor would help us with health risk assessments, the biometric screenings, validating the physical exams, and disease management and risk factor reporting. We believe that this would help our plan participants determine if they have any major health issues. Very similar, if you remember, we did something similar with the heart scans, and we had some success with that, and we feel like this would kind of be an early warning for people that had cancer, heart issues, diabetes, things like that that could be treatable at an early state. This could also reduce the amount of large claims and help our excess health insurance costs once this is implemented. Of course, there is some upfront costs, but we felt like down the road that it could pay off big for our participants and for the plan.
Make a motion to approve.
all right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote if there's no other discussion, please?
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. How many people on the screen You know a number that we did last year that had heart problems when they did the heart screen?
The only ones that I know of is just, I didn't get any results, just people that came in, and I know there was several people.
I actually did get from Richie Split some actual numbers.
Okay.
And I have those, and I'll email those out to you, but there was probably a dozen employees out of about, as I recall, around 150 that went and did that. And it seemed like about around a dozen, 10 or 12, that had a high score, and that were notified of that. But I'll send the actual numbers out, but it did.
150 people did
I
that.
think about 150, as I recall.
That's great.
Of our employees went and had the heart scans, and several were found that had some concerns, 2 or 3 significant concerns. So I think we may very well have saved some lives.
So this is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This is basically an expansion of that.
It would be very similar to that, but it would include a lot of other things,
And
cancer and
it's all volunteer,
diabetes.
right?
Well, it's voluntary.
Yeah.
We already have a wellness program that is voluntary. So eventually, we're going to try to get everybody on there. So eventually, there would be some penalties, but that would be probably starting next year when the penalty phase would start. And that would just be for people that didn't want to participate.
Okay. We have a motion? Oh, that was a question, never mind. Have we passed item 11?
No motion.
Okay, no motion. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote if there's no other discussion?
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 12 is consider authorizing Data One site to negotiate certain out-of-network claims for the city's health benefit plan for a fee of 25% of savings.
Mayor and trustees, Data Eyesight is a company that negotiates out-of-network claims, and these would be claims like, let's say if a participant went to a PPO hospital and there was a PPO doctor there, and there was a radiologist that read a X-ray or whatever, and that person may be out of network, or an emergency room physician that was operating in an in-network facility. Those are the type of things that this company would negotiate. So it would be they'd have to have a certain savings for the plan, and it would also make the actual bill treated as an in-network. So it would actually help the participant in many cases also.
We've had this come up just a few times over the years where an employee or a participant would go in. Maybe they had some surgery, whatever, they're docked, the facility, everything they could check out in advance. So it was an in-network. They wind up with a bill from a radiologist, what are the other ologists? Anesthesiologist, things like that, that they don't have control over.
Sure.
Couldn't choose, and therefore they're stuck with a pretty high bill, which we don't think is right.
Right.
Okay.
And we're hoping that the cost on this will be offset by that one that we passed earlier. So we're thinking it'll be close to a wash on that for the plan.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not, would you call for the vote, please?
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item 13 is consider awarding bid number 1314-010, purchase of one or more CNG high compaction 32 cubic yard automated side loader packer body to Bridgeport Manufacturing in the amount of $142,399.38.
Mayor, trustees, this is a budgeted item. It's one of our C&D trucks that we'll be using for our sanitation routes. The chassis was purchased off the state contract, and we went out for bid for the packer body.
Make a motion to approve.
thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item carries. Thank you. At this time, we will recess the Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item number 14 is the consent docket. Item A is accept the minutes of the regular Moore Risk Management meeting held February 16, 2016. Item B, approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2015-2016 in the amount of $315,395.72.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Would you call for the vote, please?
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we will recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and reconvene the City Council meeting. Item 15 is new business. Item A is citizens forum for items not on the agenda. There's no one signed up to speak. Would anyone like to? Yes.
Hi, I'm Memory Taylor. I think you guys already met Leslie.
Would you state your address for the record, please?
2801 Sooner Lake Drive, 73165.
Okay, thank
And
you.
Leslie Bonebrake, I'm at 3101 Cary Place, spelled C-A-R-E-Y. That's in Moore, 73160.
We were just wanting to kind of follow up and see where Mr. Eddie's office had gone. I know that in the last meeting, they had talked about looking into recycling and how much it would cost, and if we had gotten together with some of the people and found out exactly what the price would be. And I know many of you had mentioned not wanting to wait till November to have a election, so I just, or a vote for the people on it. So I just wanted to see where we were at.
The contractor that we currently use for our sanitation, commercial sanitation service is one of the contractors that would provide or could provide this service. There you have met with Richard several times and me as well. And they told me today that they should have good numbers in terms of pretty solid pricing by the end of this week, with several different options for the city council to look at in terms of frequency of pickup, whether it includes glass or not is one big thing that seems to be a situation. So I'll know more then, and I'll report that information to you all, and then we can go from there.
Do you guys feel like it's something that could be put on the agenda for next session?
That's up to him, the people that call us, or call him back
Yeah.
rather, with the prices.
I mean, if
We
it's
can
at the end of
certainly-
this week, do you feel like it would be something?
Well, again, I can get the information out to them as well as you all to tell you what the costs are gonna be. And it's gonna be up to the council to determine whether to put it out to a vote or to just raise the rates, which they have the authority to do as well to cover it. They don't have the information quite yet, so.
Right.
And we haven't gone through budget yet for next year. So we have to see where our budget's gonna be, whether we have to raise the rate or not on other things.
Right. So, I mean,
That's huge.
Well, it may not be, we may not be ready for it to be on.
This agenda,
Next
maybe,
agenda.
right.
It's
Might be.
okay. Well, instead of, I mean, as much as I love hanging out with all of you beautiful people, instead of me sitting in the crowd the whole time, I mean, I don't want to come up asking you the same thing.
Send me an email with
Okay.
your email address.
Okay.
And I can send you the information when I get it, just so you'll have it.
Okay.
And I fully expect to get it by the end of the week.
Okay. And then, so, once that were to occur, if you say you've got the information and you're gonna pass it out to the council, what do you guys feel is your time frame for putting it on an agenda?
Hopefully as soon as possible.
As soon as possible? Okay. Okay. And then, so that I don't have to wait till the end and I don't come up back and forth again, I know I've called before, and I'm not trying to be pushy or anything, but I've called before to ask to be put on the agenda, and it wasn't until the last election that this got put
To put what
up.
on the agenda?
The recycling, to have it, put
Who
on
did you
there.
ask? It wasn't me.
I know, I called
I
Mr.
sent the
Eddie's
agendas.
office. I called Mr. Eddie's
his help.
office several times, yeah. Yeah,
The mayor sets the agenda with the city manager.
Okay,
So any two city councilmen can, any one of them can ask me and we'll put it on.
okay.
So, but they gotta
We're
ask.
definitely gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not going to not hear it, have a discussion about it. We're just not positive of when it is. But
Yeah.
the agendas are posted on the city webpage.
Right.
A week prior to the council meeting. So whatever you look and you see on there, that's what we'll be talking about.
But so is it too late at that point to be put on the agenda? Like, if you've got it
Yes.
posted, is it too late to be put on
Yeah,
to
at
ask?
that point it is, yeah.
So, right, so I mean, like me as a mother and a local business owner who works consistently, and this is sort of like an extra thing that I do, if I don't catch it before that, then I'm just hanging out with you guys again until I get here, you know? And I mean, that's fine, it's kind of nice, my oldest son gets to, you know, a chance to see what's going on and possibly finish his reading and AR points while he's listening, but, you know, I just, you know, instead of like coming up here every single time and you guys probably getting sick of, you know, me with the same question over and over and over, I don't know.
I think we're gonna move as rapidly as possible, but one of the things you gotta realize, that if the council decides that they want the citizens to vote for it, then you're looking at November.
Well, we could do it, and there's a June date and an August date as well. I don't,
It's too open.
my opinion is we do not want to go in November, because I
Right.
think there's too much else on
You'll
the,
get
on the
voted,
agenda.
I have
But,
yeah.
but you're right, it's gonna be
Yeah,
some
I
time,
have
even if we
some
decide,
concerns about items already on that November.
right.
Okay, so best recommendation is I will email you, you'll email me when it comes back, and then I can ask you to
Sure.
help get us on the agenda, and that way I don't find out too late to talk to you guys.
Well,
You can come up,
Y'all are always welcome to come and speak.
Oh, I know we're always welcome to come and speak, but I would rather do it when you guys are discussing.
Well, so
You know,
if there's a,
versus waiting till the end. and
if there's a
coming up.
recycling thing on the agenda, you just have to sign up and put down that item. And
Okay,
then-
see, that's what I was
Yes,
wondering.
and then you
Yeah.
get to come up and speak during that,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's, if you want to
See,
speak
this
during
is
that.
all new. Like I said, I'm a mom and just my business is daycare. That I operate here in Moore, and so this is not. I'm not by any means a politician. So I appreciate.
I'm not gonna speak directly for the city council, but I think I can speak. I think the council is committed to moving forward, so
Right.
an agenda item going forward is gonna be to determine whether they go for a vote or not,
Right.
basically.
Right.
So
If
that,
it's low enough, we might just go ahead and pass it. That would be.
and so we don't know that.
We
That's
don't,
what
yeah,
we're
we don't
waiting
know,
on.
but we don't know.
Right, I know.
Also, we don't know if we're gonna have enough money for next year's
Right.
budget to cover everybody, because that's what most cities are looking at now. I mean, the state is off
Yeah.
$1 billion plus, and it's like, how is that going to affect our budget as well?
Well, right. And
So-
so when does that come out for you guys? I mean, how does that play into June
People are
or
gonna announce
August?
that in just a few minutes when the budget dates are, I'm sure,
Well,
coming up.
we're already working internally on the budget, but the city
Okay.
council will begin to look at the budget in April.
In April.
Um,
Okay, so it is, the August is really good.
The June is probably not practical
Right,
because they
I was
have to
thinking
call,
August, yeah.
they have to call an election, I believe it's 75 days in advance.
Okay,
There has to be an item to call an election 75 days in advance of the actual election. So it's probably going to be August for an election or November, one or the other, if that's the way the council decides to go.
And the budget, if they could consider the recoup on how less the trash trucks would have to actually run and pick up.
Oh, that's
How
one of
would-
the numbers he gets from the trash company.
Yeah, I'm sure Republic really wants to sell it to us as much as they can. But, you know, we're 20 years behind the ball here in recycling, so, you know, I'd hate to miss another opportunity and wait a few more years.
The first
But I'm
time,
s-
the
I know
first time it
council
showed
is.
up, this whole thing right here was full of people that did not want to do it, and we had one person that wanted to.
Yeah.
So now we have more people coming in wanting it, and nobody's showing up against it. But that don't mean they won't show up when it shows up on the
I'm
agenda.
sure they'll show up. but
So
we'll
you have to
make sure
figure
we'll
there's
show up to
60,000
support it.
people that live here, and not all of them want to pay an extra however much a month.
Well, with More Recycling Commission, our coalition, our last post garnered over 4,500 views.
That's 4,500 views, but there's 60,000 people.
I understand that,
So,
but
yeah, just because you have it on that doesn't mean it's passed.
it doesn't pass. No, no, no. Our reach is extending, so
Okay.
we're working on
And
it.
I'm one of them, so.
I appreciate it. I saw the green last time we were here. It was greatly appreciated from the council and the citizens.
Well, I think everybody's here is committed, so it's just getting it all worked out, making it legal.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Item 16. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, if it's okay, Mayor, I'd like to ask a question for clarification. Joy Hampton, More American. So it sounded like you guys also have the option of administratively.
That's correct.
So you could do it administratively,
Right.
but what I'm hearing is that you think it might be worth the investment of holding an election to get the feel of the people.
And that depends primarily on cost and budget, how much our budget is gonna be short, if any, then also on the cost, if this is gonna cost $5 a month or whatever, it's gonna, people are gonna wanna vote on that. If it's under, a couple bucks, we may just pass it, and we have plenty of money in the budget. There's a lot of things here that we don't have the information yet to be able to make it, a really good informed decision.
And do you have anything else on the ballot in August?
No, we wouldn't have anything.
So it would be the full cost of the election, but it'd be worth it to you to get the vote of
Well,
the
not only
opinion of the
that,
people.
but somebody is gonna have to step up if people are really interested in this passing. It doesn't just pass automatically. And somebody's gonna have to fund some campaign expenses.
Okay, thank you.
Joy, the correct word isn't administratively, because that implies that I can do it, so I can do it.
Right.
It would be a vote of the city council.
You're right,
and
okay,
they
thank
can
you.
raise
So
the utility rates.
But the city
with a
council
vote
can
of the
raise
city
utility
council.
rates because you guys don't have to vote on
We
them.
don't have the requirement that Norman has.
Okay.
Thanks. Any items from the city council or trustees?
Except one, I know it seems like only a couple of months ago that the train tracks at 12th Street were repaired.
I drove this yesterday.
But I don't know what happened. I mean, you drive over them and the concrete panels in there are moving freely and it's really rough. And I've gotten
I've got
3 or
several
4 calls and 1 email from citizens, so we can maybe, I don't know what happened.
I actually went to the yard up there south of 89th Street 2 weeks ago. The lady called me and I couldn't get any answers. And they told me they would be on site either last week or this week. And what happened the first time they made the repair, they didn't have all of the necessary material. And the roadmaster did call all the yards between here and Gainesville. They still didn't come up with the necessary material. But they're well aware of the complaints and the issue. And I can call tomorrow and talk to the roadmaster and get a timeline. But I think it's sooner than later that they will make the repairs.
And for those that know, it's not the city that repairs that, it's the railroad, and so that's kind of where the hangup is.
The city, we cooperate, coordinate the work they do. We work on the access on the roadway itself, and they take
The rest, right.
Same way on bridges and overpasses on the interstate.
Whenever they do come out to do the repairs, I'll let you guys know, just whatever we can do for the access up to the rail, the tracks, to make that better as well. There's 2 large bumps there on either side of the train tracks. It's a good speed bump, it does slow you down. Or you can hit it at 80, it's not flying.
But they control the grade of those access ramps because they get to set that rail at the elevation they want, and we have to meet the match. So they're all a little different. Some of them are a little, you get more thrill than others.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Item C is items from the city manager, trust manager.
Only thing I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
You want to mention
Oh,
it
go
or me
ahead.
mention
Go
it?
ahead.
First off, the financial statement is in front of you. Just wanted to point out on the city side that it's not as bloody as it looks. We've had a couple of changes, or at least one change to that. You'll see a long-term encumbrance on that for a little over $1 million. That is the new fire truck that we ordered. We will not be paying for that fire truck until next fiscal year, and it'll be paid for out of the public safety equipment tax. But in order to order the piece of equipment, you had to issue a PO, so that was issued against the city side. So that $1 million that you see there will not come out of the city general fund at a later date. So that's, then there's transfers that are generally or routinely made from the MPWA as a part of the budget that go transfer to the city, and those transfers have not yet been made. So just telling you that the general fund is not in the shape that it appears to look like it is with what you have there. We received a check in the mail today for $2,316, and this is from the city of Ladysmith, Wisconsin. And there's a letter in here that says, "Dear Mr. Eady, here is a check for $2,316 to be applied towards your tornado recovery efforts. These are dollars that were donated by local residents whose own lives were touched by an F3 tornado that hit here on Labor Day 2002. That event and our continued recovery from it give us an appreciation of what you and more have been through. On behalf of the city of Ladysmith, I wish you well in your continued efforts." I just wanted to acknowledge them, and if it's okay with the council, the other donated funds that we've gotten over time, we've put into the storm shelter rebate program. So this would be about exactly the amount of money for one additional storm shelter rebate in our program. So just wanted to make you aware of it. It's kind of cool.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You know, it's hard to believe that one fire truck cost $1,048,586.
This is the big platform.
I know.
Big platform, 100-foot platform truck.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a lot of money, yes, sir.
So people go, why don't you get this or why don't you get that? They don't understand. It costs a lot. Okay, item 16 is executive session. Section 307, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes permits the public body to meet in executive sessions for certain specified reasons under certain specified conditions. It is the opinion of the city attorney that the city council may consider and adopt a motion to meet in executive session to discuss the following items. Item A, consider taking possible action against pending litigation styled Jared and Chalisa Todd versus City of Moore, case number CJ 2011-2103, and authorize for legal counsel and staff to take actions as necessary and appropriate in the interest of the defendants as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statutes 307B-4. Item A1 is discuss potential acquisition of certain real property in the City of Moore and authorize staff to proceed as appropriate as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statutes 307B-3. Do we have a motion to meet in executive session?
Make a motion to meet in executive session.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Melissa Hunt,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. We are convened to executive session. Thank you for coming.
Lady Smith.
Yeah, no doubt. Here, just go take care of this list. Would you call the roll back? Call the roll, please.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Melissa Hunt,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here. We are now reconvened from executive session. Was there a motion on item A?
Make a motion for staff to proceed as directed.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Do we have a motion on item A1?
Make a motion for staff to proceed as directed.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second on item A1. Would you call for the vote, please?
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 17 is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
David Roberts.
Yes.
Mark Ham.
Yes.
Jason Blair.
Yes.
Melissa Hunt.
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.